Hey guys, welcome back to another video here, and in this video we have a fantastic one involving two humongous events with over 30 drivers in total, with some fantastic liveries, some fantastic racing, all to do with grip racing of course. So make sure you watch this video as there's some fantastic battles to happen, especially in the second event. The first event was also pretty good too, as you can see here. This is the lineup. This was the Rough Races event, and then this one right here, this is the Gumnut and Code Red event. So quite a lot of cars, quite a lot of diversity, different classes, and if you're interested in participating in any of these types of events, make sure you check out the links in the description below. We have all three Discords there for each team, so yeah, make sure you check them out. Make sure you stay in touch with the community and you just message either me, message any of the moderators you find, and yeah, hopefully we'll get you in for the next event. So kicking things off, we're going to start off with the Rough Races event. Here we are lined up for the safety car lap, and I'm right next to 60 Meows, who is the leader of our team, and then Shinobi's ahead of me, followed by Typical, and behind me is Telly. So I'm kind of surrounded by my team really. In this event it's going to be 10 laps, in the next event it's 15 laps, so just make sure you're aware of that if you're ever going to join any of these events. They tend to be on the longer side of things because it makes it more interesting really. So yeah, fast forward in here along this safety lap. Make sure you don't see any of it really, it's kind of boring but it's good, it kind of keeps it a bit formal anyways. But yeah, so slowing down, wonder what could happen here. Well, that kind of just happens, you know, crashing on the safety lap. Not the best thing to do, so we had to wait for him, and we do that. And when we catch up to the main pack, the safety car has a bit of a meltdown. Carver, the race official, but and yeah, well, absolute disaster happens there. Just massive pile up of cars. Bit of Forza Motorsport first corner law, I must say so myself. Well, anyways, kicking it off now, going on to the actual main lap to start things off. Green flag, off we go onto the main straight now. In presumably, I think it's around 10th place, but just passing the Ghost Nordic and his R34 on the straight. The Eclipse, incredible car, very fast. Made a bit of a mistake there because it got hit into the back by Nordic, but I'm sure it wasn't really meant by him, could have been decent. But coming up onto the back of Walter now in his R34, he makes a bit of a mess of that, bit of a poor line through there, but we're going to try and keep on the back of him, but not too much. Just don't want to cause him to crash and then cost me a lot of time as well. So just staying aware really of my position, but also his. So the car of choice, the Mitsubishi Eclipse, also known as the Solar in game. Incredible car. Everybody that wants me to upload my Evo 9, my tune, I promise you I will do that. I just wanted to do something different, but for the meantime, check out the Solar, very fast car. As you can see, Telly's using it right up upon next to me on my right nearly, challenging Walter 2.0 on this straight here, nearly going into the back of him, but we managed to get past him, beating the R34 for top speed. So Walter 2.0 might have to be 3.0 if you want to stand a chance against the Eclipse, but oh well, hopefully he gets that upgrade at some point to his name tag to become 3.0. But coming through the chicane here, it's a very good chicane, this one, really fast paced, fast sweeping left to right. I do enjoy this circuit, I think a lot of people do, hence why it's one of the most popular circuits in the game. Main goal now is to look at third place, which is this R34 ahead of me, and then I've got first and second just after them, not too far away, less than probably a second and a half between the two of us, so, well, three of us. So coming up on the straight now, looking at challenging this R34 into corner 2, but managed to just get past them on the straight, so that'll do. Free overtake there, not too shabby. Make a lovely use of that corner there, lovely use of that apex, and then coming into this sweep on left hander, one of my favourite corners in the game, but do go a bit wide, missed the apex a bit there. Coming back around this bit. Again, another fast-paced track. This track relies a lot on high-speed cornering, which I'm sure a lot of people have heard already me say in previous videos. Milton Drive, Bathurst, also known as Mount Panorama, as I've said. very fast, grippy track. A bit of a mix of the two. Coming through the S's here, got Shinobi, another teammate. Oh, makes a bit of a mistake going to the back of him, but lets me through. Thankfully enough, doesn't keep us waiting. It lets us through because of the mistake he's made, costing us time, and I respect that. So, thank you for that indeed. Fine, sir. Coming around now. Next lap, it's the start of it. And we see Typical make a bit of a mess of this one, a bit wide into the wall. And yeah, coming up now onto this next bit of cornering. I do love that corner there, I do love it indeed. But this goal now is to try and get first and second. So, got Popora in his S15, who was first place at the minute. And then we've got Typical, who is also in his Eclipse. So as I've said, the Eclipse is a very popular car for the Rough Racer event we decided to choose. In this event we managed to vote for the classes. We've made our own classes in this game because the game and its class system is kind of, well, it's kind of poor, very poor indeed. So we had to make it ourselves by running lap times and measuring how fast the cars are across most tracks in the game. So this car falls into GT1, which is a class we've made consisting of the S15, the Wellington S20, because it's a very fast car and features the Nissan S13, Mitsubishi Evo 9, R34, and quite a few others as well. So it's quite a balanced class, really, depending on the track, but overall it's a very balanced class. I think that's why it was most picked for. So we're coming up now, made a massive amount of time between Typical and Popora. Coming into the first corner here, it's going to be quite intense, nearly 3 abreast. Oh, Typical goes wide and just shoots across Popora. It cost him a lot of time there. I know he would not have been happy with that one, but that's what happens really. I feel kind of bad because he was sticking with Popora all the time, but oh well, couldn't really handle it with composure really, unfortunately. So moving on to the final lap, as you can see in the chat box, not much happened after that, but come up on a back marker, Eurobeat, a flash, lose a bit of control. Didn't really focus enough there as much as what I should have done whilst flashing to let me through. Flashing just basically means blue flag, faster car behind, you're about to be lapped. So if you can make sure you don't apprehend the race leader in the time of him being behind you by letting him through, that would be great, which he doesn't. He allows us to go through. So big respect there to Eurobeat. A lot of people in other games just do not let you pass if you're a race leader. They actively seek to destroy your livelihood, so thankfully he's not one of them. So passing the finish line in first place there at the Rough Racer event. So the podium, in third place we have Telly in his beautiful livery, with his Mitsubishi livery there, and then second we've got Typical in the grey Eclipse, and then in first place we've got Blank, also known as me. So I will say, if you do see your name in this lobby, thank you for attending. If you do not, well, you know who you are. There was a guy who did disconnect on console, so I do feel a bit bad. I think his name was Nordic, so you know who you are. If you're not in this video, that's why, because I think you disconnected. So, but yeah, thank you for coming, basically. So anyways, on to the next event. Here we have the car of choice, effectively, the NSX. And I love this car, so it made sense to use it for this event. It's Class 4, the Gumnut and Code Red event, so NSX is naturally in Class 4, but I'd use it. It's not a try-hard car, not around the track we're going to be racing on, San Palazzo, also known as Silverstone. So yeah, this is the livery that I made for anyone on the team that did decide to participate. It's the Rough Racer livery I made myself. I'm quite happy with it, to be fair, so I thought I'd give the NSX a little bit of a tiny little edit there. Not great, but you know, something to showcase it. So here is the lineup for the Gumnut event. We have quite a lot of NSXs, hence why I chose it. I had caught wind of the fact that there's going to be quite a few using it, so I was like, okay, fair enough, I shall use it myself. So yeah, quite a lot of people in this event here, bigger than Rough Racers one. 2 whole discords, keep in mind, in this event, with some very high skill drivers as well. Some of them are mainly drifters, and that is completely fair enough. It's just the thought that counts participating. It's all well and fun anyway. So kicking things off, I am the first qualifier in this event. There was a qualifying lap, so fair enough for that. We did not have that in our event. and then this decided the grid basically for the Gumnut event. So we had an outlap, and then we came back around to the start finish, and then this is the beginning now through Maggots and Beckett's, taking that really well. And then through this corner here, this car handles this track really well. It's not going to be the quickest in this class, that's for sure. Now anyone could have just used the hot rod because it's also a class 4, but thankfully no one did that. I'm happy no one did. It would be kind of unfair. The fastest car that was at the event was probably the Subaru WRX hatch, but yeah, coming in through this corner here, took it really well. Coming out, nice line, keep it tight. Keeping it tight allows you to get on the throttle earlier, allows you to straighten up. If you go out wide, you can't really straighten up as fast as you'd like, so you get a bit of spin from the rear wheels. That's not what you want, because you'll compromise the exit there. And then coming through these corners here, the name escapes me of this entire circuit. Circuit corners. I know the circuit Silverstone, but the corners themselves, I kind of forgot, having raced on Silverstone for quite some time. But anyway, coming out on the final corner, if you don't count this little bend here as a corner, coming out on the actual final corner, onto the straight, and it yields us a time of 1 minute 25 on the dot, just over half seconds faster than second place there, Latatus, who came second. So I'm just chilling with typical after that, and well, yeah, calamity happens as well, insane. And yeah, I don't know what happened.
Hello, how are you?
Brief festival of mayhem aside, we do have the start of this event, so Latatus straight off the get-go takes me on the inside. Great move from him, but I just run a bit wide really there. The tyres onto the blue, all four, which is an illegal thing to do, but I think it's because it was the first lap of the event, and plus it wasn't really intentional. I just kind of went wide, didn't gain anything from it. I didn't get penalised for it, but a worthy note to take now is that throughout the remainder of the video you will see plenty of blue abuse, if you want to call it, happen, but not between me and Latatus anyway. It actually ends up being quite close. Coming into the, I think it's Abbey, this corner is what it's called, Abbey, I'm not sure. Kind of just looking at the track map on Google as I'm running the commentary here. Anyway, we come through Bridge, I think this corner's called as well, turn 12. Following Latatus quite close. This is probably one of the closest battles I've ever had in this game. Really good driver Latatus, I'll give him that. Got quite a little reputation in the CarX speedrunning community as well. Good driver, good racer, I'll give him that. And then through this entire video, for the most part, it's kind of just me and him until the end, but we'll get to that when we get to that. And then coming through Luffield now, turn number 15. Just trying to keep it composed really, trying to keep my poise, not do something that's a bit outlandish, just keep it within my limits, driving skill limits. But coming through Copse Corner, and then we skipped through there, took Copse quite well, but we gained a bit of time anyway on Latatus through that entire lap, and we managed to pull up onto the back of him now through this corner here, and we're just looking for the move, but we are a bit too far back, so we have to just respect that, give him the space, don't go for a lunge. Again, this one is a 15 lap race, so no need to go crazy right away, but we do get him there. It's a great clean overtake, bit of a slide on through that out that corner. He looks up the inside, give him space. It's important you give people space, because if you don't, then you're going to infringe upon them and possibly even break the rules by hitting into them, which you don't want to do that. You want to always respect drivers. You don't want to be overtaken, but you want to respect the driver when you can. You don't want to go into the side of them if possible. You know, also leave them their line. Anyway, coming through Copse Corner yet again, ahead this time round in the lead. Latatus, you can see him on the map. He is glued to the back of me, as I was glued to him through Maggots and Beckett's. Taking it really well. Just hug the inside rumble strip if you can. A key thing to do is to do that around this track. It allows you to pivot the car around the corner a lot more efficient. It gives you an increase in grip, I find, if you just dip one wheel or two, just in that inside of the rumble strip, kind of hooks you round. And it's the same with this corner too, if you're able to do so, which we don't, we go a bit wide, so our flash this back marker here was to say, again, like I did in the previous event, let me through, blue flag, and he does. He lets me go through, so not much time wasted there, thankfully so, really there. Otherwise, it could have been quite ugly if I wasn't allowed to get through. I would have lost a lot of time, so thank you very much for that as well. So the Tita's still hot on my tail throughout this entire event, not giving me much time alone, that's for sure. So yeah, coming up around this corner here, which is going to be the final corner of me leading this race so far, and then a skip ahead of lap because I still managed to hold my position pretty well, but do run a bit wide here, make a bit of a mess of it. The Titus makes the appearance. Looking up the inside now, trying to get the inside of this corner, the first corner. Silverstone, he does get me there enough, holds it pretty well. I'll look up on the outside and maybe I can get the crossover, but he does manage to hold it pretty well. But I managed to just sneak it through. But again, top quality racing from him. Unfortunate to hold the position, but he gives me enough space so I can keep hold of it. But he pops back in to my reality, and what would you know? He gets past, holds it for the inside of this corner here too. So I've got to make sure I hold my line, I don't infringe upon him. And I look for the switchback. It's not quite on this time, and all of this battling, as you will see towards the end of this video, is that all it causes really is that both cars race slower than what it would be if we weren't battling. So what we're doing right now is actually slowing each other down with all this battling. So if you're going to race this close, you need to keep in mind that third place is going to probably inevitably catch up, depending on who it is and what car they're using. So yeah, got to try and make sure I'm still fast enough, and this is what we're trying to do here. We're not really battling here, we're just trying to get around the track through maggots and beckets as fast as what we can, and do make a nice little corner of this one there, and does give us an advantage on the back straight a bit more. I am getting closer, so you can see all the judges there on top of the bridge. Quite interesting to see that every single time you go around, as I've said. I'm sure it's incredible how they even got up there. I don't know, but you know, the more you know. So coming up through, I think Vale, this is actually called, this corner here. Again, as I said, I'm just looking at Google as I'm commenting. Alright, it's been too long since I've played Silverstone. So yeah, the Taters, this is good driving, but I managed to get right up to him again. It's very close between us, we're kind of neck and neck. It was only half a second slower than me in the qualifying, so again, he's very matched with me, but I do get an aggressive move here, but I get through cleanly enough. Smidge of contact, but not really enough there to really be penalised. It was all good racing, really. Didn't cost him time, it's quite smooth on the whole. So again, back in the lead to finish out this lap in the lead in front of Latitas, the Frenchman, who is racing really well alongside of me. But again, all of this battling, all it causes ultimately is that both cars are lapping slower than what they could be. And you will see the result of this very, very soon in the next probably lap or so. Potatoes there looking up my inside once more, letting us know that he's still alive, kicking, trying to claim his first place back. But again, going into this corner, he makes a massive lunge and he gets it. It's a great move from him. Do look for the switchback yet again, but it's going to send us on the outside for the sharp corner, so we can't really get the switchback across. We do try and see if there's anything there, but he shut us out, shut the door on us, and we have to resume position in second place. And we've got to be remaining patient. Maybe you might make one more mistake. It goes a bit narrow there, but ultimately it's not really enough. Doesn't really give us much opportunity to make a move, so he retains first position there. Good racing from him, even if he did go a bit narrow, but as I said, he's done quite well. So good on him right there. But you can see in the bottom left now the map what all this battling's caused. Subaru has catched up to us, caught up. He is in the radar, so my focus switches to the fact that I'm now being caught up by a driver, and also I've now got to try and beat Latatas. So the pressure is building, and this is what you've got to try and balance in close racing like this. You've got to really embrace that fact that you've got to get caught up to if you're going to race like this alongside someone as close as skill as you. So coming around this corner now, still in second place, the Subaru, excellent handling car, and it's a testament really in terms of how fast it managed to catch up to us, even though at the start it was nowhere to be seen. So I find that quite interesting really, how it managed to catch up so quickly later on, but at the start of the whole event it was nowhere to be seen. But it does handle pretty well, so there's no surprise in terms of how it just caught up there through Maggots and Beckets towards the end of that section there. It's right up into the back of us almost there, but we managed to get the pull ahead on the straight. We do have the acceleration, we do have that top speed that Subaru does not have, but the cornering speed of that Subaru is absolutely insane. Tatus there doesn't take the most optimal of lines, does get a bit of a slide going on there, and we do manage to catch back up to the Tatus now. So the top three very close by to each other, coming up now to this corner here, and it is very close. It's very tense. Gotta be sure to be composed, gotta have a lot of poise through each corner. Subaru up the outside, but there's no space there. I don't know why he goes to the overtake there. There's no space there at all. It also goes on the blue. It does cost me a bit of time. He's looking up on the outside yet again. Is he going to get it? He does, but he has to back out. That's what he should have done the first time. The space just weren't there without going onto the blue, and that would have given him a penalty, but he does back out there and he does lose a bit of time. So me and Latatus again, still racing close, still racing tight through the section once more, taking it quite well. Just trying to look for any gaps really, and the Subaru's managed to catch back up again. Again, the cornering ability of that car is absolutely insane. So again, if you do like cars that handle really well, Subaru WRX hatchback is insane. Tatus makes a massive mistake with his line there. He's got a bit wide, look on the outside. Am I able to get through? Am I able to let him deal with the Subaru? No, I'm not. I can't do it. I still can't get past him. He shuts me out. Subaru looks up on the inside. Tatus showcases that open differential that he has with the one tyre, one wheel peel. Look on the outside here at this corner. Can we get it? It's so close, but just can't get it. He does manage to hold us quite narrow, and we have to back out to let him through, but we are inside yet again. Subaru as well doing the exact same thing to me, letting me know that he is still there as well. So very tense racing, very close to the wire racing. Subaru goes for the move on the outside, does take me, but we managed to get past them, and we managed to hold out one more lap on him ahead in second place. We managed to get past him and remain there. So the Subaru, I nearly got on the all blue there, but the Subaru making that appearance once more, managed to retain it just about, even though it went wide and out of the corner. But the Subaru, yet again, look at that for handling, able to get on the throttle much more earlier than me. I am unable to do so, so he has that advantage. Insane acceleration. He looks up on the inside, the space just isn't there. He costs me a lot of time, and yet again he's just still trying to go for the moves that just aren't there, which is quite frustrating, I will say, because this entire event he does try and go for moves that just aren't there, and it's just it is a bit frustrating to deal with, and it's cost me a lot of time. The Tatus keeps pulling ahead. The Subaru makes the overtake, goes way wide, but in all fairness to him, he does save the penalty, and I do respect that. He is a good racer for doing that, so he has a bit of etiquette, which is what I do look for, which is completely perfectly fine, if you do save the penalty, of course. So, still in second place, still trying to catch up to the Tatus. He has got at least about 7 tenths of a lead in front of me now, maybe a second, just about. It's going to take a lot of top quality racing for me to catch up to him, or one key mistake from the Tatus, which I don't know if it's going to happen. We will see. Take this corner here, lovely on the rumble strip, hooks me round, but the Subaru tries again on the outside, not getting penalised at all from the judges for that yet again. It's costing me a lot of time. The judges would say in that, you know, it wasn't an incident that was it wasn't able to be penalised because none of us got an advantage from it. But I certainly got a massive deduction in pace, so at the end I just managed to let him through. He does take me on the outside. I just say to him, you know what, go through, you can have second place, you can battle for first, hopefully you slow down the leader and I do get second, because I kind of got fed up with it at this point. I did lose a bit of composure because of it. I wasn't happy, to be fair, with how it was dealt with, but Coming up on the last lap, Eurobeat makes an appearance again, getting lapped, which is quite funny. Sorry, Eurobeat, but yeah, he lets us through, and that concludes that lap there. That concludes the event, actually, not just that lap. So, 3rd place. I'm happy with that. It was a good event. I was happy with it, but I felt I could have done better. But it is what it is, and I'm quite happy for that. It's all for fun, really, which is what matters most. So here's the top 3. The Subaru did end up winning, did end up taking the taters, and it was very close between those two. I finished 3rd, so as I said, podium, I'll take that. And yeah, so if you're interested in these videos, guys, if you're interested in grip racing, please check out the link below in the description and make sure you join our Discord. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and peace out.